from the Rhinos, who had a big 3-0 victory
Big game.
in Montreal this past weekend. Goalkeeper Brandon Miller. Brandon, thank you for joining
Welcome to the
us.
show, Brandon.
Had to be exciting getting your second clean sheet already of the young season. And, man, you guys are rolling right now.
Yeah, it's good to get that second clean sheet. I think defense is playing very well right now, and offensively we got things rolling pretty well right now. So it's feeling good. We're all confident. And glad we've been able to start the way we have.
2-0-1 record, second place, just 2 points behind the Charleston Battery, and 5 goals for, 1 goal allowed. It's looking so far, it's very young, not a huge sample size, but it's looking like the defense is pretty much left off where it was last year, which is just dominant. It's got to feel good for you, I'm guessing, as a goalkeeper, to be playing in Bob Lilly's system, which is very defensive minded, and you guys pretty much make sure you're not allowing any goals first, and then you go back and score some.
Yeah, I think Bob has a great system in place, and it's about plugging the right players in, and we've got Grant who's come in and done very well, Bacillus as well at center back, and you got Pat out wide who's always steady, as well as Ottawa, very attack minded, but also gets the job done defensively. So it gives me confidence to play in front or play behind them, and knowing that they're going to shut down most things, and I just have to stay focused and do my job whenever called upon.
Now, I got to ask you, we were a little confused last week. We were trying to figure out where you guys were actually going to play in Montreal. I thought it was going to be at Claude Robillard, where the Impact played a long time ago. It turned out to be a side field at the next to Saputo Stadium, correct?
Yeah, it's actually they have a turf field which is in between like their Olympic Stadium and Stade Saputo. So it was a nice field, nice turf field. So it wasn't quite the stadium, but it wasn't a bad field.
Were there any fans there?
It was a decent atmosphere. I mean, for it not being in like a traditional stadium like
Right.
what we played in the week before in Pittsburgh, I mean they got a decent amount of fans out there.
Okay. It's kind of weird, some of these new, MLS JV squads, so to speak. I mean, the Red Bulls too, they played their game against you guys in Red Bull Arena. I know now they're going to be playing at Columbia University the rest of the season. It didn't seem to be a huge crowd down there, but then there's other teams like Seattle to Vancouver to Real Salt Lake to, like, they're drawing actual 3,000-4,000 fans to see these USL squads. So I was just interested in that. Hopefully it'd be nice to see a team like Montreal actually have some fan support.
Yeah, it would. I mean, it was. There was actually some of their supportive group out there, waving flags, making noise. Obviously, it'd be nice to, be able to play in a bit more of an atmosphere. But
Sure.
we just that's one thing we talked about before the game. It's a bit different than going to Pittsburgh and playing in their real stadium with all their fans. So
Right.
you gotta make sure you're up and focused and ready for the game.
Right. So the other big, like, Rochester soccer news from this weekend was John McCarthy, who you played under last year, getting his first start for the Philadelphia Union, which kind of happened really quickly, only took a couple weeks, and getting the win against NYCFC. You got to be proud of him. I mean, that's great.
Yeah, it's great news for him. He was here last year. He did really well, and everyone knew he was going to go to Philadelphia and do just as well. And so it's great to see him go there and get his shot and take advantage of it and do well. So we're all really proud of him.
Is it? Do you feel any pressure on yourself trying to follow up? I mean, the season McCarthy had here last year was something that probably comes along only once in a great while. Do you feel any pressure to try to live up to any expectations?
No, to be honest, I mean, obviously John had a great season last year, but we try not to really focus on what happened last year. Focus on what we can accomplish this year. I mean, Rochester's had great goalkeeping for years, not just
Yes,
last. Christian
absolutely.
before that, Vallow, Kitson, all the. There's
Hmm.
been some great goalkeepers
Einstein.
here, and so you can't really put that pressure on yourself. You just gotta focus on training every day, get focus on what you need to get better at, and when your time comes, just doing your job.
So you guys are going on the road again Thursday at Louisville. That should be fun playing in there. From what I've seen, it looks like they have a great atmosphere there. They're playing in the baseball stadium there where the Louisville Bats play, and I know they sold out their opener, so that's got to be exciting.
Yeah, I think it'll be two great atmospheres this weekend. Start out in Louisville, upstart club, but I think that they're going to have a lot of fans, a great atmosphere. Obviously, they've got a quality team there, so I think that'll be good. And then heading out to St. Louis on Saturday, I think as well. I watched their game this past weekend, and it looks like they've got a great setup there. Fan base is there, and a quality team. So I think it'll be two great tests this weekend.
Very cool.
Awesome.
This the growth of the USL is so exciting. I mean, adding 10 teams from last year. Do you like the direction that they're going with all the expansion and kind of moving to a more regional based schedule at least? I mean, I know you guys don't get to fly to California anymore, which it's kind of a shame, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to miss those trips going out to LA and Arizona and places like that. But I think as long as the quality of the league, the competition, the talent level keeps growing, which it is, I think it's just nothing but positive, and I'm looking forward to where it's going.
Do you think that it's possible for the league to expand at the rapid pace that it's expanding without diluting the talent pool?
I think that it's the expansion is giving opportunity to more players to showcase themselves. I think there's obviously got to be a limit. You can't have hundreds of teams. Obviously,
Sure, I
that's
hope not.
going to dilute. But I think that the pace that it's going right now, I think it's just giving a lot more players the opportunity to showcase themselves and show that they can play at this level, hopefully at higher levels. And so I think that it's positive what's going on, and hopefully this year will go well and growth will continue.
Do you find a difference when you guys play the MLS Academy team, so to speak? Is there a difference in style between them and the older, more established USL teams like Charleston and Richmond?
I think that as far as the difference in style, I mean, I think it's just a system. Each system for each team, it may not be simply an MLS Academy team versus one of the older established teams. I think it's just the system that each team puts in. I think the main difference you see is that you just like a Montreal versus a Pittsburgh. You're seeing a lot younger players who
Hmm.
may not be physically or as mentally developed as say a bunch of the players on Pittsburgh, just because they're more established, they've been playing longer, and so it's just a different type of competition level. Not saying that Montreal didn't have a very talented squad, because they did. It's just that you just get more experience coming from the Pittsburghs, the Richmonds, those teams, because they're signing older, more established players. But the competition level is still there, which is good for the league.
Yeah, I remember hearing that the Red Bulls had signed a 16-year-old, I believe, to the Red Bulls too. I don't know if he played
Wow.
against you guys, but I was like, wow, that is young to be playing professional soccer.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he played against us, but I mean, I agree. It's young, but it's at the same time, it's good for yeah, 16, 17 year old to get competitive matches against more experienced players, to give them that experience and help them develop as a player. And so I think that's one thing, one bonus that these MLS Academy teams are doing as far as helping the growth of soccer in the United States.
Yeah, I mean that's something that you hear goes on in Europe is the big clubs will sign kids really young, like 12, and then slowly get them in the academy, and then when they're 15, 16, 17, they might be playing professionally in like the third division.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's good for development, and hopefully we'll see over the next few years, younger and younger players breaking into first teams in MLS and maybe getting experience internationally, and we can point back to USL as helping them with that growth process.
Very cool. Brandon, any specific goals for you guys this year? I mean, you got to the first round of the playoffs last year, lost a really close game to the LA Galaxy 2. What's the goal for this year?
I think the goal for this year would have to be, take that next step. I mean, we've shown in the first few games that I think we're bit further ahead than we were last year at the same point. I think that if we can keep continuing to develop and better ourselves in training every day, I think that we can go even further than last year. And honestly, the end goal would be to win a championship. So that's what our main goal is right now. We just got to focus game by game, just focus on what our opponent in front of us, and yeah, I think we can get it done.
Very cool. By the way, Brandon, I saw you went to UNC Wilmington. That is a beautiful, beautiful school in a beautiful region. I spent some time down there. Wrightsville Beach, I do remember, was fantastic.
Yeah, that's one place I really do miss.
Well, I mean, the good news is if you go outside today, you can go down to Lake Ontario, and Charlotte Beach will feel a little bit like Wrightsville.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Brandon, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck on the road trip this week. When are you guys leaving for Louisville?
We head out on Wednesday.
All right, very cool.
Good luck to you
Good luck,
guys.
guys, this weekend, and we'll see you back home. The home opener is April 26th. That's a Sunday, 2:05 against the New York Red Bulls 2. The first time the Rhinos and the Red Bulls played, it was a 0-0 tie. So it should be a great rematch at Salins, and hopefully it'll be a warm day. Brandon, thank you so much.
All right, thanks for having me. Have a good day.
Yep. Brandon Miller, the goalkeeper for the Rochester Rhinos.